Hello everybody, welcome back to Space Pickle Designs. Today I have this rustic flower earring pattern here for you. And we're going to go ahead and make the earrings on the right, but they're easily adaptable to other sizes of Czech drop beads. I will put how I made these in the description box below, but if you'd like to make these with me, then just keep watching. Okay, so the materials that you're going to need for this earring are 1 ear wire, 1 6-inch piece of 20 gauge wire. You're going to need 2 of these Czech Glass Wavy Heishi beads, and these are just a 3.5 by 12 millimeter. You're going to need 2 of those, and then you're going to need 10 of these drops. Now this is a Czech drop, and this is a 9 by 6 millimeter. You can use other sizes, just know that you may have to play with the size jump ring. You may have to do it a couple times to get it to where it'll lay correctly. You're also going to need 10 6mm jump rings and 1 4mm jump ring. I chose this in a different color just so you could see it better. You're also going to need some nylon jaw pliers, some bent chain nose pliers. You can either use a step bail plier or you can use round nose plier, just a regular plier, and some cutters. And I just have this bead tray here for excess waste. So the first thing we need to do is prep our Czech drops. All we're gonna do is take 10 of these drops and we're gonna take a 6mm jump ring and we're gonna attach it to the drop. And this should fit just fine over the drop. You can use any, pretty much any color jump ring you want, even if they're not that great of quality. I just made these with some 22 gauge wire, so they're not even that sturdy. You just want to make sure that they're all the same, and you get 10 of those done per earring, and then we'll come back. Okay, so next thing you're going to want to do is take your 4mm jump ring and feed all your Czech drops onto this jump ring. Just take your time, be patient. They should all fit. It may take some finagling. Okay, last one. And then you want to take your bent chain nose pliers or any other pliers that you prefer. Grab the edge of that jump ring and just close it on up. At this point, you can kind of lay it flat and get your Czech drops to lay side by side where the jump rings are not overlapping. And then this guy over here, so as you can see, this one is out of place, so you just kind of put him in place. And you should have like a big round situation, and you can see that middle jump ring in there. It's a different color, so you can set that off to the side. Next up, we're going to take our 6-inch piece of 20 gauge wire. We're just going to make a decorative end. This is going to be the center of your flower, and I just made that edge flat on that one side. I'm going to take, this is just what I prefer, but I'm going to take these step pliers here. I'm going to use the lowest setting, and I'm going to make 3 rounds complete. Okay, so we have 3 loops on that plier. I'm going to remove my pliers. I'm just going to feed the end back into that hole. And I'm going to help it along by putting my thumb and just kind of curling it in without kinking the wire until we get down to the bottom here. Now that's pretty good, but it's not good enough. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold this with our nylon like this, and then any type of plier you want that has a flat, so either your bent chain nose or your flat pliers, you're just going to take that, you're going to pull, and it'll start manipulating the end of that wire there. Now you want to make sure it's the shape that you want it, so I just kind of take my pliers, squeeze that in so it looks more like a rosebud shape. Squeeze this down just a little bit more. I'll remove my nylon jaw pliers. And this is what we're looking like. And it's nice and even. I'm just gonna straighten out this end here so that we can feed on our beads. We'll cut this edge off later since it is damaged, but we'll need it, we'll use it for leverage. So at this point, you've prepared your Czech drops, you've prepared your head pin or your centerpiece of the flower, and you have your 2 Heishi beads here. So now we just wanna assemble. So we're gonna feed a Heishi onto the 20 gauge head pin that we made. Gonna make sure it sits nice. Visually it looks nice. It's not tilted. It sits pretty level. We're good with that. The easiest way to do this is to take your head pin and just, after you laid your whole Czech drop piece out here, and you just want to go into the middle of that situation. So basically you're just trying to pick up that rose gold jump ring. You take it all down, you can bounce it around to kind of get them to lay into place, and that's what it's gonna look like. You just want to make sure that the jump rings are kind of facing the same direction. That will help them lay correctly. So you just tilt the jump rings until all of them are kind of laying in the same direction. So if you see there, we've got it kind of looks like a blooming onion, and this is just more important for how it's gonna lay. So at that point, you just put your next Heishi bead on to the top right there. You go down, and this is, you want to check right here, this is how your drops are gonna lay. So you want to make sure, again, that those jump rings are kind of leaning all in the same direction. I took just a little bit of space here. You can use any plier. I just use this. We're gonna need just a tiny bit of space to wire wrap later, but you're gonna take your plier, hold it to the base right here. You're gonna bend it up. It really doesn't matter what direction that you go. You kind of want to keep that situated. We can play more with it later, but you want to see and make sure that this stem, this is what's going to connect to the ear wire, is above and it clears the drops. So it's going to be about right here. I'm going to compare it to my other earring here. I want them to be the same height. So we can kind of just eyeball it there. You take your pliers and you just bend it down. So we're just kind of making it a double wire situation. And again, it'll lose some of its height when we bend it back in. So we've got this situation down here. We kind of want to lay it flat again. We want to get all of our Czech drops situated. And you want to make sure you get them situated before you start wrapping. So again, I'm checking my jump rings, making sure they're sitting the correct way. Okay, we had one that wasn't, so we fixed that. And then what we want to do is take your plier, hold both of the wires, so we got them like this. We have all of our drops situated, and you just want to wire wrap in this space between that little space that we made with our plier and the bead, the Heishi bead right there. So however you can get your wire in that little space to make a few wraps. So I've made my first, but I still want to make sure that those beads are going to sit the way that I wanted to. I did knock them a little bit. So there we go. I've made my first wrap. I'm going to go back in, hold those wires, make a second wrap, make a third wrap, and then we're just going to use up some of that extra wire there. Make sure it's kind of snug up in there. The whole point of this is to anchor that Heishi bead against those drops so that they kind of fan out. So I just want to make a couple more wraps with that extra little bit of wire that I have. And that looks good to me. So I'm just going to cut the rest of this off at the base. Put that in the trash pile, and this is where we're actually going to form the piece. So this is the front of the piece, this is our back, and we actually want to push up on this wire. And this is kind of the situation that we're looking like here. And then you just want to take your nylon jaw and kind of situate it upwards like that. At this point, you have a pretty sturdy little flower component. What we're gonna do for this tutorial is actually just take an ear wire and use it as an earring. Just open the place on the ear wire here, feed that on, close the ear wire, and now you have two cute little flower earring components that you can also use for anything you want, even as an embellishment on a necklace. Okay, I hope you guys give this a try. Let me know down below how this went for you. And until next time, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.